there. What do you have? What is going on?
I think I have something on my teeth. What the hell is that?
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Candice.
And welcome to Don't Start.
And as we like to say, don't start.
Candice, save it for the show.
Exactly. So let's get to it.
I mean, my friend recently was drinking coffee through a straw so she doesn't stain her beautiful white teeth.
Oh, I just can't get coffee through a straw. Feels disgusting.
Well, yeah, if you think about hot coffee, yes, it feels aggressive versus, cold, of course. You drink iced coffee all the time, don't you?
Not all the time, but I like a cup of coffee. But lately, because I feel like I need iced coffee, it needs to be 100 degrees out for me. Like it needs to feel summery for me to have iced coffee. And I'm sorry, but it ain't feeling it. I'm not feeling summery.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that, but I couldn't agree more. I think there's very much people that are on a very strong opinion about I will drink hot coffee only, and those people sort of I think fall into they drink black coffee as well.
That's Tom. Tom's like, I'm gonna get just like, I'm like, let's go get lattes. And he's like, yeah. And then we get to the line at the front of the line or the drive-through, wherever we're going. And he's like, I'll take a small black. I'm like, that's it? I'm like, I wanted to get coffees, but that's like not in his thing.
Yeah. Hey, come on, honey. We're going for lattes. Chad is a quad espresso. Like he goes, yeah. It's aggressive.
It's
like
fancy.
That's for just quad espressos. I've never. Anyway,
can we talk about this real quick?
That's what we have to keep us all going is coffee, right?
Well, yeah, but I have to talk about your beach hair. I'm loving your beach hair.
Thanks. So what she did today, Mermaid Schreiber.
I love
it. I when I'm not working, I really try not to use hot tools too often.
Yes.
Protect that very raw was not the right broken hair that I do have.
You don't have broken hair, but to your point, we need to all not do a lot of hotness to the hair.
Well, being a blonde, my hair curls well, but basically because it's on the verge of complete death. It's just crunchy and crispy and fried. Anywho, if you're a blonde out there, you understand. I know. But so last night, Chad and I have been watching full-length series like Lord of the Rings. We started Harry Potter, and man, they're just such great films. I don't know if they're up your alley. Godfather was one we did.
I don't like everything Italian. Don't judge me, but I didn't see. I didn't mean
to target you.
Yeah, seriously, I didn't see all the Godfathers. I know they were too long. I don't know. I get it. But I have seen the Lord of the Rings, and Tom, there's
Lord of the Rings.
There is a whole new level of excitement that Tom gets to with Lord of the Rings. He's just so obsessed.
Yeah, us too. So last night we started Harry Potter, and then it was funny because I think Lord of the Rings is maybe a more mature movie, right? The books for Harry Potter are more targeted to a younger person.
Yes.
But funny enough, I went to the midnight book release of the final book I think it was when I was out of college. I don't know what year that is.
Oh.
And made wands with my friend Greg. But anywho, so last night we were watching a long film, and I just jumped in the shower and let my hair air dry. Is the moral of the story. And then today I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is not how it air dried. And I put a little crimpy dew.
Do you know I saw whatever crimpy dew you put? It looks really good. It's very beachy. I love it.
Thank you.
But I saw that thing. I feel like it follows everyone. It's like TikTok, Instagram ad about those. It looks like a little bow, and you can wrap your hair in it at night.
Yes.
Those wrappy things. I have yet to try it.
I feel like we should get the person that invented that on.
Yeah,
here.
because you know what it is? My grandmother used to old school, remember the scrunchie rollers? What were they called?
Oh, the sponge rollers?
Thank you. Sponge. I couldn't think of the word. I said sponge. Scrunchie. Sponge.
Squishy.
The squishy ones. Grandma used to put them in her hair and sleep with them all day. Literally.
Yeah. My question to you is, you did not do that as a dance girl?
I did that as a dance girl, as a full-on cheerleader for 5 years. I'd sleep in the rollers, in the
Yes, me
ponytail, in
too.
the thing.
You get it. I love that you were talking about grandma. I was like, I know that deep down in my soul. Like, I had to sit there and mom had to put my hair in the sponge rollers.
Mhm.
And then I slept like pain is beauty, honey.
And honestly, now
They're
looking
not
back,
comfortable.
they're awful. And my mother used to spray the crap out of the one strand of hair,
Yes.
going into the roller, then spray the next crap of strand of hair.
Yes.
And like my thought process as a kid was like, this is awesome. Now as an adult, I'm like, I would never do that to my kids' hair. But
Oh,
here we go.
would. I mean, I do not have a child, but I certainly would. Sometimes I think, and my nieces naturally have beautiful
They
curly
got the curls, lucky.
beach curls.
Mm.
However, as someone that does love a good dance recital moment and like moment of it pulled together,
Love it.
I would certainly put a little nice sponge roller in a kid's hair. I might still do it well, of course I still would do it for myself.
Yeah,
I
you
just
would.
haven't done curl. I feel like I've done here we go. You're gonna know this one. Pin curls. I've done.
Love me some pin curls.
They will hold a curl like crazy,
Yeah.
but very old Hollywood or
Yeah.
John Benet Ramsey. That's not a great beauty queen. That was not a good reference.
But I'm telling you, a pin curl comes a long way on a Halloween when you got to wear a wig. Put
Oh,
that
yeah,
pin curl in.
Yeah. I haven't worn a wig in a while. But yeah, bringing you back to theater girl days. So Candice, I wanted to say this.
Yeah.
We are at a year of Don't Start. We
Don't
started,
start.
we came, and I feel like we have accomplished
So much.
a full year of it. And I wanted to ask you, like, what are your thoughts? What have you learned? What have you reflected? What have you been surprised by?
Well, first off, it doesn't feel like a full year. I know that sounds crazy, but it went very fast, the
Feels
year.
like 2.
It feels like 7. It feel like it went like the year went fast in general.
Yeah.
Just life, right? Time is really weird these days. So for me, time's
Mhm.
like, what? But what I feel like I've learned, besides having a blast chatting with you always, I feel like I've definitely have learned to listen, because I would say I'm a great listener as a human. Like when I'm in my family, I'm the listener, which my mother would say that's the reason she's the writer, is because I listen to everyone and I just write it down. But for sure, having to interview guests and like hear their story, I've like leaned in more to really listen. And that taught me so much as a human, because I'm like, we can all listen more. I don't think anyone ever listens enough. But it was really fun to sit down with these special guests that we've had over the past year and be like, wow, that's your story. I had no idea. We DM on Instagram and I didn't realize how amazing. I mean, I knew you were amazing from Instagram, but I didn't realize, your full story, and we want to get to learn that. So the listening and learning of guests to me was really the highlight. I loved it. How about you?
I would say that surely everybody has a podcast,
Oh,
right? I think it's more challenging than I expected. I think that you and I have been determined to kind of like do a lot of this on our own.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was a lot of work. I give 100% praise to the social media managers on my end, where I know people that do that. And I was like, I see you, I hear you. That is a lot more work than people give it credit for. And I always thought that.
Everything.
Yeah.
The
The social media
editors, the social
Yeah.
media,
Oh, yeah, you too.
the booking of guests,
Yeah.
the whole thing is the self-producing aspect is a heavy lift, as they say.
It is a heavy lift, in which you do know a little bit more than me based off of you having your own show.
Oh
and,
God,
like,
the
doing
heavy
all
lift.
that. I always said I'm always, I'm trying to think of when I'm in charge. I like to do things. I'm a very proactive person, right? But I also find as an employee or as a performer, I do like taking direction. I am someone that appreciates the collaborative effort.
Yeah.
So, and I also think I've been in a job, and I've talked to you for over 8 years in a way that everybody has their place in the company, right? And so like being
It's
a
like a
self-starter
well-oiled
again.
machine,
Yes. A well-oiled machine.
Mhm.
But being a self-starter, motivated in that kind of way, which is inside of me based off, we've auditioned our whole lives. and being a hustler like that. She's a hustler, baby.
She is.
Getting back into that groove sometimes was like, oh, okay, remember her again. So that's that. I think it's a challenging little world because I do think there's a lot of people doing it and talking.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that I think with all our guests, I'm just really amazed by so many of us really just being humans and really having similar feelings about life, the challenges, finding peace, finding, just whether it was with grief, whether it was with women's health, whether it was just health in general, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has these stories because we're all just human.
Yeah.
People just go to school more for certain specific ones and become experts. But we listen and say, oh, yeah, we all feel this way at times.
I 100% agree. I think too, like we've shined a light on some really big topics that either were personal to us or we felt like we should be talking about this, or we were like, let's just get this out there for people to hear. And we've opened up about our stuff. And I think that it also makes us brave. I'm sorry, because a lot of people don't open up. And there's no right or wrong, but it does make us brave. So I think it gave us a little bravery too.
Yes.
I'll say that.
I think the choices of what we choose to talk about are healthy choices as well. And I'm going to get into two different topics that I'm thinking about there. But for the first one, I'll say, I do think you and I traditionally are not controversial people.
Oh, and like by nature? No. No.
But even here, like I don't think any of our topics are controversial.
No.
And so I'm very proud of how we represent ourselves.
Yeah.
But I also think like, when you think of hot topics in that are trending, sometimes they do trend controversial. So maybe we don't have as much I think we do honesty of like relationship quarrels, or we had a sex expert at one point, but we aren't necessarily those women laying it all out there in that kind of way.
I also think too, to your point, like
we don't want to hate.
That's what I was just going to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. I love it. Like you get this thing today, especially with social media, because I feel it from a lot of pushback from, people that I work with and stuff like that, where they're like, if you were more controversial about this, and this, you would get a bigger following. You would get more comments. You would get that. I get it when I'm on stage. I get off stage, like, you would get, and I'm like, listen, I do me, you do you. Here's the reason we're not controversial. And it's not because we're avoiding it. These are just the people we are. Like, I'm the type of person in the elevator, when they're having a conversation and you're like, oh, I don't butt in. I wait for the elevator door to open and I'm like, have a nice day. Don't want to be involved in that. Like, I don't need the extra drama. I got enough on my own end.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. We're just not those people. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I've been recently seeing some people in different industries that have already had a professional career and are now judging people that are in it. And they're
interesting.
Being specific.
Oh, interesting.
And for me, and we've talked about this, being critical of others, what does that do? The people being like food critics, theater critics, art critics. And it's like, when you do it, get back to me. Yeah. And then maybe we can, you can have a judgment of it. Like, I'm not, So I've been having trouble of like, I think you and I are similar to this. And I think in the guests that we had, I'm here and I want to use a platform to lift up and to highlight and to showcase. And I really am sad as some people are out there kind of maybe saying not nice things. And you got to remember that these are people working hard to make careers for themselves. And once again, they are also human.
Yeah. And I think again, your point, it's like we're all doing life for the first time. All of us. And if we could just if the starting point or the baseline for humanity was decent, I think the world would be a better place. But unfortunately, the baseline is shitty. And then we move up from there. And I've noticed that a lot more. And I'm like, God, just be a champion. And I think I know we do that as humans, as women, especially. I'm so excited. And I've we've each come across this in our own careers, but for sure I will feel pushback. And I am the type that's like, just because you're a female in my lane or do what I do, or a male that does what I do, but to me, let's join forces and lift the hell out of each other, because this is awesome.
Yeah, collaboration.
To me, that's how I've always wanted to do it. Even though it sounds funny having a one-person show, you think the opposite, but no, it's actually quite the opposite. You're the most collaborative because you literally collaborate with the audience, with so many people, and I noticed that a lot of people are not like that. So your point is valid, that a lot of people want to judge others and I'm like, where? That's getting us nowhere, by the way. And just as a human, I would think if every human was a toddler, because you got to teach a toddler to be a decent human. We need to all go back to that. Sometimes a lot of adults grow up physically, but inside they're a screaming toddler. And I'm like, okay, you just need to be heard. So you're going to be a controversy.
Yeah, and I think this will come out in May. It's also Mental Health Awareness Month. And so as you say that, my question is, how they say sometimes these people that judge harshly of others, that they are not happy people. And that's where it comes from.
My mom says that.
And I feel like, do you find that to be consistent? Like,
I think so. I think they're unhappy with, where they are. Listen, no one's ever 100% happy. And what I mean by that,
I'll never forget that. You said that to me. Well, just do what makes you happy. And I laughed.
You laughed in my face.
Because there's something about what happiness becomes as an adult.
What
does
morphs.
happiness mean, right?
Yeah.
Really, if you break that down. So I didn't mean to, it was one of if we're talking about the year, that was a very clear moment.
I laughed so hard.
I remember very specifically.
Oh my God.
Of awareness, right? Yeah. What is happy when you get to the things that sometimes get more difficult as you're an adult?
Yes.
Disappointment,
and
sadness.
I think your point too, the reason you laughed so loudly in my face was because it was like, it was made me giggle actually. It was because you're right to an extent, like what does make someone happy, and it's different for everyone. And I don't want to categorize and be like, because you're now over 35, this is what's going to make you happy, because that ain't true. We're all different. We're all on a different journey. But to your point, there are things that like will make me happy now that would have never made me happy in my 20s. But I do think there's a lot of people struggling with happiness. And so I always am the type of person, or at least I try my hardest to give that person a break for a second. I'm like, let's give them a break. I don't know the day they had. I don't know the human they are. Yeah. I don't know what they go home to, right? But I think if we all did that, the world would be a much better place. But not every human does that, right? We all sort of, everyone gets a little competitive and whatever the choice may be. But I do think mental health is huge today. I'm so glad we talk about it now more than ever. I didn't grow up talking about it. I don't know. Did you grow up talking about it at all in your family? Mental health?
No, I think you and I are pretty consistent with kind of our parents kind of being like, anything that, whether it's sickness or whether it's like, tuck it under the rug, and we just keep charging forward and moving on and instead of handling it. And I think, for me, I don't know if I've said this before, but I was very determined to find a therapist for in my life as an adult. However,
so
I
important.
refused to pay out of pocket. Yeah. And for me, it's like, if it's challenging for me to find with my health insurance a therapist, it's highly aggravating. But I found a great one, and I've been with Barbara for 3-4 years now. And I find it to be kind of like an exercise. And I've said that before, like doing push-ups. And because it's the moments that hit you out of nowhere. So, because sometimes I'll have it scheduled like I have this week. And I'm like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. Yes. But it's not about just feeling good this week. It's going to be what I feel like in maybe the 2 days or 2 months from now. Yeah. Then I can remember those exercises or the conversation we had that was empowering or made me think a different way about a perspective. But I also find her to be more of like a life coach when we talk about work stuff, travel things, relationship. It doesn't feel as heavy as just like emotions. Like what we feel. It's always active, which I like.
Which is huge. I did not grow up at all with mental health conversations just like you. My parents stuffed it under a carpet, or at least we just shouted at each other because that's what Italians do. We like to yell at each other. But it's just, that's how, but my mother will say this, at least we got it out. And I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
But was it the way? Probably
what
not.
was the environment?
Exactly.
What was the one that we had somebody that did the inner navigating your, basically inner peace. Ooh, I'm trying to think of what it is.
Dr. Brooke. Dr. B did that.
How did she verbalize it?
Oh, gosh.
Basically, the nerves, our inner nerves type of thing, the calm within us, right? And so if we're always having frantic reactions, and that's something that I have realized, and I've said before, is that as an actor, I am there to react. I have been trained to react to everything, to listen as well. But so I have always been aware now, being like, not everything has to have the reaction. Sometimes, like you said, just sit back and listen.
Yeah.
And let that person just talk.
Yeah.
if they need to get it out like that, don't let it. That's not how you need to handle it. Right.
And sometimes. And we're not, I'll say this. We're not therapists. Anyone listening?
No.
We are not therapists.
No, we are not experts.
But
I feel like,
we've learned stuff. We know some stuff.
Yes.
So I will say this. Sometimes no reaction is the best reaction and the best way for you personally to get through. That doesn't mean, you know what I mean? Like I've discovered that over the years. Maybe that comes with growing up a bit too, that I was like, I don't need to react to every piece of information coming at me and get upset. Like I literally can be like, I don't need to worry about that. That's not my problem. That's theirs. But yet as a young person, I would have to not confronted, but I'm not a confrontational person by nature, but I would get upset by it. Where now I've sort of been like, oh, that's their issue, not mine. And I'm able to separate what's mine and what's theirs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Again, not a therapist, but that has helped me.
It's hard when they try to involve you, I would say. But I had a conversation recently as well, and this person gave this advice. I don't know. There's the let them,
that's
kind
the whole
of
Mel Robbins thing. Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Let them. It doesn't have to be about you. Just let them. But my friend was saying, from that book, she gained the ability to, even in conversations, whether in business or family, take the moment to let them get it out and say, and then sometimes let them pick up the silence. I am always quick to fill silence because I'm very much a host, the tone of the space. I want to keep conversation moving, and I think that was great advice. Yes, I thought that was great advice. That maybe it's uncomfortable silence for me, right? There's a power in silence. It's so maybe allow them to let them get it out or say what they need, or maybe you'll learn something in a business meeting if you let those people keep talking. You don't have to answer all the questions.
I totally love that. And I think it's so right. Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I used to go to work with my dad on Sundays, and because I didn't get to see him a lot. So I wanted to spend the day with him. So I will never forget this one particular deal. He was a car dealership at the time, and he was closing, and he was teaching me, like, this is what you do, this with you. And he put I went to say something, like, I don't even remember what it was. And he put his hand on my knee as if to be like, shut up. And then the couple walked away. And then I looked at my dad, and he's like, just don't talk. Let the silence sit. Let them scurry and worry in their brain. Should I get the car? He's like, I gave them the information. Don't push. They'll come back. And they bought the car. And I just remember that energy and that power of what you just said of, like, silence. Sometimes it's actually, we do it on stage. And it's comfortable for us. I can sit in the silence on stage like anybody's business, even though
unless you try to land a joke.
Well, that's very different. But, like, that is very different. But I've been seen by comedy manager greats who have turned to me and been like, but the joke needs to get there quicker. And I'm like, no. You sit in the silence and you learn as a performer. That's comfortable. But in real life, it's hard. I do think it's hard because I think it takes a lot of strength. I think it takes a lot of patience. I don't always have the best patience, and a lot of maturity that we're all getting there. But you're right. To your point, 100% right.
I want to tell you a funny wrestling reference for that.
I want one.
sometimes I get producers in my ear during matches
Does
that I
that
could hear
throw
them.
you? Oh my God, I feel like that would
no,
throw
because I'm
me.
just sitting there. If I'm announcing, right? So I'm not doing interviews, but I'm announcing.
Oh,
I do
okay.
the front of the match and the end, right? Who's going to
Okay.
be in it, and then I say who the winner is. But throughout the match, one of my favorite things is getting to hear producers talk in my ear, and it comes through to the ref, who can then give notes to the wrestlers in ring. I don't think that's something I think that's something everybody knows. Well, cat's out of the bag. No, but it is something that people
So
know. It's very cool,
interesting.
right? Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting?
Oh, I
But
love
here's the
that.
thing. There's this one coach that we have who I like, who's a legend in the industry, and we're very lucky at WWE PC to have some of like these guys that have wrestled, ages, and they're icons in the industry. Brilliant people. And it's about performing a story. There's a beginning, middle, and end. And there's the tension. There's the part where the babyface, the hero, looks like he's going to win, and the bad guy, the heel, comes in and puts him in a hold. So ready, like a chokehold,
Yeah.
right? And the one coach will always say, stay there. The crowd will come. And he said, make it feel uncomfortable, that the silence is hold there. And because he's strangling the bad guy's got the good guy in a hold.
Yep.
Stay there, struggle more, make it more dramatic.
Yep.
And then he goes, slowly come up. And you can hear the crowd will, and I could hear him getting notes as it's happening. It's one of the moments I love. I love that kind of, like I said, I like direction. I love performance. I love
That's a lot of drama too. I love it.
Oh, it's theatrical drama.
Yes.
For sure, wrestling is.
Yes.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that. It's one of my favorite things to get in real time. Like if you were doing your show and I would hear in my ear, like if someone was giving I don't know how many people in live performance other than on television.
Yeah, that's never in your ear, right? As theater performers.
Cues, right? But it would be cool if you could maybe one show. Tom's just like, all right, hold can.
Never. We will be divorced by the end of the show.
Find your light can.
But I will tell you.
Definitely times I have to yank my ear where production doesn't realize that they're in my head. Like, so my subconscious, they're like talking and I'm trying to talk at the same time. And I'm like, no, guys, I can't talk.
That's me. I'm like a little bit like a squirrel. What I mean by that is like, as you know, like last weekend I had a really great show, but it made me giggle because we're in tech and the technical director comes out and he's like, here. And it's like a big clock. And I was like a big digital clock. She's like, I'll put this on the foot of the stage. Now it's a giant theater. And I was like, why are you putting a clock there? He's like, well, comedians love to know, where the joke lands. Is it minute 15? I was like, I don't.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And so he thought I was a traditional comedian. So of course I had to laugh to be like, listen, that's a hard job. I don't do that job. I do a scripted show that I will for sure go off script, for sure. But I know my marks. I know my light cues. These are the lines. And he was like, oh. And he's like, so you don't want the clock? I said, the clock will throw me so off that I literally will be the worst performer ever. Like that, I can't, like, this. You're standing in front of lots of people. There's lights. You're on a stage. And if I look down and see only 3 minutes have passed and I'm sweating already, I'm going to be like, I got another 85 minutes up here.
That's very funny.
I'll never make it. Funny. I will talk myself out of it. So I was like, get that clock out of here.
Right? Like, it's like working out where you're like, I definitely did 10 minutes. And you're like, it's been 3 minutes.
That is exactly what it is. That is exactly.
Yes. It's funny because in my world, right? Recently, I had a live hit in a kickoff show, and they said they started out with it's timed right now, pardon me, in the show to be a minute and a half. However, if a match goes short, we'll need you to fill time. If the match goes long, it could be a very short, like, all right, guys, it's coming up live right now on, the CW network. Here's the show, and that's like a short one.
Yes.
But in preparing, I was working with my friends that were in the hit with me. And it's like, all three of us are, I guess, major preparers, which I love. But we had like a short, a middle, and then like a long one. As soon as we get up there, it is just like long, keep going. So like for that reference, sometimes we do have a clock that you can see with camera that it's going, or I'm getting 10. 9.
Interesting.
Because it's going to end. And you don't want to end with like egg on your face, or, you're holding for 10 seconds and because you had to fill time and you didn't know.
I'm kind of nervous.
Oh, no, it's definitely. But we were all like,
I'm kind of sweating.
You don't know till you know.
Oh,
so you might as well
gosh.
have all the information prepared if you could do long ones. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a fun exercise.
Yes.
If you do it well coming off air, you feel fired up. If not, I don't. Yeah, it's scary. That's live TV, but you understand. That's just feeling time specific when it goes to advertising, when it goes to broadcast, right? So then the countdown.
God.
Anywho.
Terrifying.
How do we get here? Mental health.
Mental health and performing. It goes hand in hand. I'm going to ask this. I'm totally going to ask this because this was on my mind. Going back to hot topics, there was this whole thing on the news, social media, and blah, blah, blah about how they call it hot girl summer is exhausting. And I giggled because I was like, are we still there? Where it's like we have to get our summer bodies ready? Is that still a gimmick that gyms and diet trends are doing? And it still is. It's like the cultural panic of summer. Do you have it?
We just went and saw the Met Gala a couple weeks ago. People are obsessed with how they look. I think it's higher than ever based off social media, based off reality stars like the Kardashians. And we've talked about that. The pressure as we talk about teenagers to be beautiful and to look like Botox is happening younger than ever.
Do you feel hot pressure? Hot pressure, dear Lord. Do you feel hot
pressure? I've been getting more hot pressure than I ever at 40 something. And I'm like, is it the time?
Hot pressure. Do you feel hot girl summer pressure, Sarah?
So I would say when we were going to Panama and it was like a surf trip, I'm like, okay, I'm in a bikini for 10 days. I would like to feel good in that bikini. Did I feel the best? I don't know. I don't think I did.
Oh, I thought you looked great.
I was also just living in the jungle.
Yes.
But it's the pressure that I think I've always had in my life that fluctuates of and just like that, weight fluctuation with age, with time, it changes. But I think it's self-reflection. And I actually had a conversation with Chad about it recently about there is a pressure in our industry. I also think there's just pressure also when you are getting older and younger people come in and are trying to get jobs.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The competition, the highly competitive industry.
Yes.
I mean, the fact is, and I don't mean to names, but give an example, Demi Moore is one of the most attractive women on the planet. However, she has really, I think, feel the pressure of the non-aging, right?
She has fallen off the deep end for me. I don't know what's happened there.
It breaks my heart that you think if she's a queen of beauty to me for so long.
Yes.
But I guess that's all within yourself about looking in the mirror and being okay. And I'm not saying that's easy. I'm saying that as someone that's no, I want to feel good in a bathing suit if I'm going to be. I know that we are beach people, so I do think there's that. If I feel like clothes are feeling different, I would say it never really fully goes away, that I'm just free. I mean,
I'm like you. I just want to feel good. I just don't want my thighs rubbing together. I don't need to feel uncomfortable.
My thighs have always rubbed together.
I was born with my thighs rubbing together. I don't understand these women whose legs never touch. My thighs have always touched. When I was at my thinnest, where honestly, my mother was like, do we need an intervention? You look so thin. There was a point in my life where I was very thin. And not because I just wasn't eating. I just was rushing and not I wasn't paying attention to life.
That's what I felt.
Yes.
When I look back and I was like, oh, I was so skinny. And I was like, I was just running around.
I was running on coffee, fumes, and Broadway dreams. I don't know what was happening. Subway fumes, coffee, and Broadway dreams. I don't know what was happening. I was just way too thin. And my thighs were still touching. My thighs were still touching.
Here's the joke is that what we're talking about, the fact that you and I are still saying that is still, we're both aware.
Aware
of that.
the sad part is now my goal is like, oh, I don't want to like make a memory book, because I make memory books like all throughout my relationship with Tom, and I love them. I'm so cheesy about them. And like, I don't want to look back and be like, oh, that summer. Oh, like I just don't want that. So I want to feel good in every picture. Or my favorite, not my favorite, but there was a memory that came up of me where I remember putting my niece in front of me. I was so I'm not heavy. Like for me, it was heavy. I was swollen. I was going through a lot of the IVF pressures, whatever it was. Yeah. I remember putting my niece in front of me in a picture because I just wanted my head to be visible, because I knew I hated the way my body looked in that moment. I don't want to relive that again. So that's where I'm at in life, where I'm like, oh, I just want to feel really good. I just don't want to feel like shit. But
I mean, you were very specific there, and I get it. All I'm saying is that I hear you, girl. And yes, hot girl summer. I think it's different. Like, can I tell you a funny dream?
Yeah.
And maybe this is like, I feel like hot girl summer is not how I'm saying it, because I'm not hot girl single, hot girl like looking on the prowl. So no, it's about feeling good, right? And for me,
I thought you were going to tell me a hot flash, like you're hot.
Oh no, but you know what I mean? Like that's what I was referencing earlier, the hot pressures.
Yes, of course.
But I had a dream last night that Chad and I went to like a college party, and like this girl that was like either he had a fling with or an ex or something like that. And I gave him a big kiss and I said, I'm going to go home. You can stay out if you want. And he got home late. And this was in a dream. But I woke up and I was like, I told Chad, I was like kind of like hot about it. I was like not angry. I was like kind of it
was a turn on.
He's my man.
Yeah, it was a turn on.
Like I got like this jealousy, and then I realized, oh, we don't go out in those situations at all anymore. So it was a very funny moment that like my jealousy and anger of him like having a girl interested or remembering this time, but then also being like, no, we do nice early dinners and we have nice cocktails and we talk about our future and our life or what we, how much we love our dog.
I kind of love that dream. I love that dream.
It's so specific, but so funny.
No, it's beautiful. And it's very funny. Tom said to me the other day, he was like, we're not spontaneous anymore. And I said, fix that sentence. He was like, you're right. We've never been really spontaneous. I was like, we've never been those people. Like we were maybe in our 20s, maybe. And what I mean by that is like, now we're still like the exact people we are. We just like, I like chaos. I want organized chaos. I want a nice cocktail. I want a restaurant that, I like the food. I'm just not going to some spontaneous random restaurant and I don't know the review. Like I'm too smart for that now. It's over. And even he said it. He was like, we've grown up.
So I would say in my past, I was certainly more of a can I say it?
Spontaneous?
Spontaneous. I was thinking spontaneity. Spontaneous individual. I was, and I realized, like, even with moving, right? You get more stuff.
Yes.
And I mean that even not just in our homes,
stuff.
But we have more stuff. So I didn't have stuff like that. I was running on coffee fumes and Broadway dreams
and blow-up furniture.
Dreams.
I always had blow-up furniture. I never had real furniture.
I don't know where a blow-up mattress is now. Oh
You're
my God,
right.
I literally slept on a blow-up mattress for a few weeks when I first moved to Hollywood. That is so true.
1,000%. So did I.
Yeah.
I had a blow-up chair. I had a blow-up mattress. And at one point I turned to Tom and I was like, I can't live in blow-up land anymore. I was like, I can't do it. I feel like I'm walking into like some bubble show at like in the city and I got to get out of it. And he was like, okay, we have to buy something real.
That is very funny.
Terrible. But
that's also sort of scandalous. Yeah, guys, no more blow up stuff.
No more blow up stuff. Like, we have to grow up. So, like that, you're right. That is spontaneous youngness. Yeah. But when I hear hot girl summer, I think of a little 19-year-old running on the beach. So I'm laughing when
So she's the girl that's getting jealous of the girl that's flirting with Chad, right? Like, she's like still desperate to be like, notice me. But there's still fun in it. And that's what we said, right? There was still something about being like, he's my man, and look who he gets to go home to.
I think that's wonderful. I've never snapped my finger.
In my dreamland.
You just snapped your finger. Like, look,
I know,
I've never.
I did.
But I love it.
But you were saying like trying to organize the chaos. Like the thing that I love about our jobs is specifically when you're auditioning regularly. It is scary. You don't know where paychecks are coming. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
The thing that was always thrilling when it is that style of work is that you never know what you're going to book and how it can change your life in an instant. And, I'll never forget when I went to an audition and it said, okay, you're a damsel in distress and you're falling from a helicopter and Bruce Willis is saving you.
You're like, all right, whatever.
And I call my mom and say, this was the audition I just had, and laughed. And then I booked it the next day, and Bruce Willis saved me off a building.
It's the best.
They got rid of the helicopter and made it a building. They made it a 3-story building. I was doing my own stunts. So for me, I do love that excitement and chaos.
That's a different excitement. I like that too.
Yeah. And I'm giving that as an example. But like for you, like, when we talk about auditioning for films or TV and like, gosh, it's hard, but when you book it, that's stuff that's exciting. I mean, I think that's
me having to get in shape for a hot girl summer. No, I don't understand this. That's not exciting to me.
You never know when you're going to need to be saved by.
Oh no! I'm pretty sure I will not be doing. I'm pretty sure I will never be doing a film where I'm in a bikini. Yeah. So I feel good about that. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Okay. I used to. I worked on a job with David Hasselhoff, and I was in a bikini in that one.
No.
I'm trying to think of when I've had a couple bikini stuff. It's like literally that's what the co-star probably said, like blonde girl in a bikini.
I love it. No.
Yeah.
But we don't have the summer, the pressures of hot girl summers.
I did have an audition for a WWE diva in Los Angeles, and I had to go in a bathing suit. WWE. It's changed now. Women's evolution, I swear.
Oh
but I just laughed because I was like, I don't have fake boobs. This ain't happening. Like, I don't have the blow-ups. I didn't have the blow-ups. I got a good bra.
You needed some blow-ups. We have like time for one more thing. Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Well, it's May, so I'm going to my birthday. This is nothing too scandalous. But what are your feelings towards, like, I am a Gemini. I find myself to be a Gemini. Are you a horoscope person?
As I'm getting older, I am. Yeah. And it sounds really funny. I'm paying attention to it more. I had someone recently.
To the moons? Or the moons?
All of it. The astrology, Mercury and retrograde. I had it's very funny, a manager recently say to me, oh, we're not going to sign a contract on, and he gave me dates.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, because Mercury's in retrograde and this doesn't align. You're a Taurus. I'm a this, I'm a that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow, this guy's like mapping this shit out. And he wouldn't sign. We wouldn't sign certain contracts on those dates. And I thought, oh, so that's when I started to like dig into it. So I am a little bit. I'm a Taurus. So there's a lot going on for the next 2 years for Tauruses. But you're a Gemini.
Yeah. No, I dated a Taurus. That was a long-term relationship. Chad is a Pisces. I have a lot of Aquarius in my life. I find like Chad and I to be true to who we are. I find consistent signs in my life. But yeah. I always have been connected, but I always like, I'm a Gemini. I'm a true Gemini. And people would be like, oh, they're twins, they're two-faced. And if you read into it, it's just that they can wear many hats and that they're adaptable and they're fluid and their personalities change with the room or their the people that they're hanging out with.
Yeah, more of a chameleon. I actually think that's very common with Geminis. They kind of fit into the space that they're being introduced in, which is lovely. You're adaptable.
Yeah, I'm adaptable.
I love that.
Mercury in reggaeton. That was something that we heard recently and we were laughing. Mercury's in reggaeton. Okay, so last big thing. Okay, there's a lot happening in the world right now. This is going to be heavy and it's going to be, the last topic. Maybe we shouldn't. Should we not start?
Well,
the world is a crazy place.
Come
on. Economically, the gas prices are high.
That's the thing.
Are you driving as much?
Now, I'm a little annoyed.
We don't have to start. This could come back. We can not start.
I'm very fucking annoyed. I just cursed. Very fucking annoyed with the gas prices. Really, that's all I'm going to say.
It doesn't stop. But Chad wants to start getting more products and food, canned food, just in case. We can get there on the next. We don't need to start about this. This is a conversation.
Don't start.
But we might be prepping.
Are you hiding in the basement? Don't start. You have a whole room.
I don't got a basement.
No, you have a whole bunker somewhere.
I'll be in the outdoor shower if you need me. Hiding. Holding my dog close. All right.
Don't start.
Thanks for joining us today.
You can follow us on Instagram at Don't Start Podcast.
Or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And we'll see you next time, friends.
Don't Start is produced by Anthony Street Productions.